Hi, love. It's Lindsay Landry, energy alchemist and heart shaman for healers and soul led women entrepreneurs who are ready to connect deeply to themselves and call in massive pleasure and prosperity. Oh, so this morning I was in my own process and working through some blocks and walls and protections that were coming forward for me. And as I sat with them, as I worked with them, I felt the nudge to record this episode and offer this process to you and for us, really, right? For all of us. So that's what we're doing here. This is specifically valuable for you if you are at a place in your process where you're noticing some edges that you are protecting and possibly even defending, right? Sometimes we begin to presence to ourself and our value, and then we kind of go into this defensive protection mode. So if you are noticing that in yourself, this can be very valuable for you. Also, like how that could be showing up physically. So for myself, we are on the cusp of Christmas. It is December 23rd when I am recording this, and Ken is currently on his way home. He'll be home later today. And we have a pretty big to-do list for the next week, which is why I'm pre-recording some episodes so that it gives me some spaciousness and ability to be present, right? While he's here and while we're sort of navigating real life, the things that we are going to be doing and spending time with family and all of those things. And then also like kind of figuring out our next steps of the process. So that's what I'm doing here. So I noticed myself start to feel anxiety the past few days just with him beginning to journey home. And then like I sort of was feeling tired, and I have been focusing on getting these pieces in place so that I can offer them, right? Like have things lined up for the next few weeks. And also like leaning into a light vision, right, for the beginning of the year. And so what I noticed is I started to feel a little prickly with the dog. So he was started to get like on my nerves a little bit more. Like my capacity, right? Like to be present with him and his needs like began to shorten. And it was like I noticed that edge in myself, right? And then it was almost like it was zapping my energy. And so that's how this started to show up for me. And then, Ken had some ideas and visions for when he's home. And I noticed myself, it's like when he's sharing them with me, I started to feel so overwhelmed that part of me just like wanted to shut down, right? Because we already have a pretty full plate with going visit my family, and then we're going to probably go to Alabama. And I could just feel like, I could just feel this in my system, right? And so this morning I woke up and the dog was acting really funny, and I was like, oh my God. So I sat with him, and I really did my best to get really present, to ground, and I could feel that there was like all of this energy in our space that needed to be released. And so so I dropped into my own process, and what I started with was this edge of like, okay, what is between me and the world, right? So the world being whether it's my dog, whether it's my work and my ideal clients, right? The women that I'm here to serve, whether it's my partner. Like, what is between me and the world? And I've been tracking this, and it sort of felt like when I first started tracking it a few days ago, it felt like it was like this film that was like over my face, kind of over my body. It felt very like foggy and dense and sticky. And almost like it was kind of smothering me, right? And also like I couldn't feel myself in it. Today, when I tuned in, it felt a little bit more like a wall and like a protection, right? A defensiveness. And so, sorry, I'm grabbing my blanket. Okay, so as I began to present to this, I noticed that, there was defensive energy, there was protective energy. And so I began tapping and I actually want to just bring you through this process with me so that you can use it for whatever's forward for you in your life. And what I want to just share before we dive in, defensiveness or protections, they can show up in different ways. So my energy archetype is a shapeshifter warrior. So, the warrior sort of gets defensive. It has a shield, it has a sword. There's like this fight energy or this protection energy that comes with it. The shapeshifter, for example, that archetype is open boundaries. So when my shapeshifter is in protection, either I sort of go into this false boundarying energy where it's like a demand, or the other aspect of that is like wide open boundaries where I'm feeling everybody's energy and it begins to feel really overwhelming for me, right? So that's two archetypes. Another archetype is the mystic, where the mystic tends to go out of body and sort of hover. And so it can feel a little bit like they have all of this information and all of this knowledge, but it's really hard for them to bring it into the 3D world and actually apply it, right? Or they feel like they're above having to deal with certain things or certain experiences or those kinds of things. Being above it actually keeps you in the loop of it. Just like if I'm energetically wide open, that keeps me from my own experience and it keeps me in the loop of it. And the same thing with the warrior. If I'm in fight mode, right, rather than fully being able to be in that vulnerability, it keeps me in the loop of continuously feeling the pain, right, and attracting situations and circumstances. The other two archetypes, I'll just do this quickly since I've already done 3 of them, is the heroine or the hero. And, that's kind of like, okay, I'll follow the rules. I will fit perfectly in the box, right? And what happens in that is you lose sense of your own identity and who you are. So it's this constant questioning of like, who am I? But who am I really? And when we continuously to be in that protection mode, right, it keeps us in the loop of that not knowing. And again, this is really just dipping our toe in quickly. I did 3 years really on these archetypes. I was in programs learning them and studying them and emerging myself, and I've worked with clients and all, so this is just like a little drop. And then the last archetype is the great mother or the chief, and the protection for that can look a little bit like I pour my heart out to you. I give, and I don't get anything in return. So I'm extremely exhausted and depleted. And also it can feel like you end up abandoned, right? And so, if you notice yourself in that patterning, that can be a protection. And I'm naming these because I want to give you a little bit of substance for you to notice, like, oh, that's where I'm protecting myself, right? Or that's where I'm defending myself. Okay. And like I said, there's so much on this and there's so much depth here. So I'm really just giving you a drop just so that you can kind of identify some places in yourself for the purpose of this practice. So what I want to invite you to do, you can grab a pen and paper if you want, or you can just do this through tapping, whatever works better for you. If you do go ahead and write the questions down, you could take some time and journal with each question. So you can do both as well. You might do the tapping now and you might come back. We're at about 11 minutes and you might come back and you might write the questions down and journal them, right? Okay, so go ahead and just get comfortable wherever you are. Take a few deep breaths and we're going to go ahead and start tapping. So go ahead and use your karate chop point, which is the side of your hand, and just tap it with your other hand. So where your pinky is, you're just going to tap that area with your other hand. I'm taking full responsibility for my health, wealth, pleasure, deep prosperity. So go ahead and just say that a few times. I'm taking full responsibility for my health, wealth, well-being. I'm taking full responsibility for my health, wealth, and well-being. I'm noticing some protection and defensiveness in my energy and in my body. Even though I have this protection and I have this defensiveness in my body, I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Even though I have this protection and this defensiveness in my body, I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. And then you can go ahead and move to the forehead. And so I'm just going to orient you to the points that we're going to do. So it's the forehead, the side of the eye, underneath your eye on your cheekbone, your upper lip, your heart, right below your breast on your rib, and then underneath your arm, and then the top of your head. So I'll mention the points as we're going through, but those are the points that we're going to be tapping on. So the forehead, even though I feel this defensiveness in my body and this protection, I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. On the side of the eye, I feel this defensiveness and protective energy in my energy field and in my body. Underneath your eye, I am wanting to protect myself and keep myself safe. Your lip, these protection mechanisms are creating walls in my energy system and around me. Your heart, it's really, really painful to have these walls up. And let's stay on the heart for a minute. It's really, really painful to be experiencing these walls. One more time here. It's really, really painful to be experiencing these walls. Then let's go to the upper rib. I'm noticing that, and you can say how it's feeling for you. I feel really alone when I have these walls up. Then you can go to your rib. I go out of body and get into my head when I have these walls up. The top of your head, it's really, really painful for me when I have these walls up. Your forehead, all I really want is to be met. On the side of your eye, all I really, really, really want is to be seen and to feel loved. Underneath your eye, it's really, really painful to have these walls up. Your upper lip, I feel like I don't get the thing I actually want. Your heart, I wonder what might be possible if I allowed these walls to soften. Let's stay on your heart for a moment. I wonder what might be possible without these walls. Your rib, I have no idea what would be possible if I didn't have these walls up. Underneath your arm, I'm really curious about what might be possible if I didn't have these walls up. The top of your head, I wonder what it would feel like to be met. Your forehead, I wonder what it would feel like to be heard. The side of your eye, I wonder what it would feel like to be seen. Underneath your eye, I'm really curious what might be possible without these walls. The top of your lip, I'm ready to soften these walls, and I'm ready to soften to these walls. Your heart, so that I can experience something different. Stay on your heart. I really, really want to experience something different. I deserve to feel something different. I'm really, really ready to have a different experience. Go to your rib. Even though I've had these walls, I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Underneath your arm, these walls and these protections, they have protected me. They have kept me safe until this moment, and I honor them. The top of your head, and I feel like I'm ready to let them go so that I can experience something different, something new. Your eyebrow above your head, forehead. I know that I have a lot to offer in my relationships, in my work, side of your eye. And I'm ready to allow myself to meet the world more fully as myself without these walls. Underneath your eye, I'm ready and willing to give other people the opportunity to meet me. Upper lip, It's a little scary. I have some fear. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be met, but I'm willing to try. Your heart. Because if I don't try, I will never know if I will be met. And if I don't give them the opportunity, how could they ever meet me? Oh, I'm softening these walls. I'm letting them go because I love myself. I'm wanting to love myself and honor myself. And I'm desiring to give other people the opportunity to step into love as well. Go ahead and take a few deep breaths. You might put one hand on your heart, one on your belly. And you can go through this for as long as you need. And like I said, you can also write these prompts down and journal them. And I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear from you. What are you noticing? What came forward for you? And what do you notice after? I love you. I hope you have a beautiful day.